Very good. According to the patient's assessment, the following abnormal findings were found. After the medical assessment of the patient, it's time for the diagnosis. Anybody? Yes, ma'am?
Can we have the laboratory exam first? It is easier to diagnose that way, correct?
Right, but what if the condition of the patient is life-threatening? Are you going to wait for the laboratory exam before diagnosing me?
Oh, I see.
Okay, for the differential diagnosis, anybody? Yes, sir?
According to the presenting sign and symptom, I can mainly say that the patient has a good pass-through, mainly because of the edema.
But the patient doesn't have any respiratory manifestations and of good pasture syndrome. And another thing, it occurs very rare. And it is impossible to occur at young age. Maybe the patient has hypothyroidism. It can explain his periorbital and facial edema. Are you talking about mixed edema? Yes. Edema in hypothyroidism is generalized and is a non-pitting type. But in this case, the edema is pitting and is not generalized. And it does not explain the increase in blood pressure.
Then what is your diagnosis?
Maybe the patient has congenital heart failure. It explains the edema and the hypertension. It all fits.
But the patient has no rales or even murmurs. I think the patient has glomerulonephritis.
And how did you come up with that diagnosis?
Well, if you analyze the signs and symptoms, the patient has edema and hypertension. I believe it occurred due to the low oncotic pressure in the blood plasma, the glomerulus.
And why is that so?
Well, maybe there is something that obstructs the glomerulus, considering the glomerulus is the one filtering almost all of the blood.
Okay, if AGN is your diagnosis, it can explain the hypertension. But how are you going to explain the periorbital and facial edema, considering the distance of the kidneys to the face and orbits? Isn't it right that the patient must have ascites, hepatomegaly, or splenomegaly first before having periorbital and facial edema?
Well, the tissues there have low tissue resistance, and periorbital edema occurs due to the gravitational distribution of fluids when the patient is in horizontal position.
Right, AGN is the right diagnosis. But do you know the cause of glomerulonephritis? Yes, ma'am?
It is usually caused by group A beta hemolytic streptococcus.
Correct. But do you know how that happens?
When the bacteria enters the body, immune system will attack the invading bacteria. But because of the special features in the capsule of this group, they can usually resist absonization. That will form antigen-antibody complex, and when lodged in the glomerulus of the kidney, it stimulates our immune system, causing this mass cell degranulation and complement activation, and can lead to increased blood flow, intravascular coagulation in renal vessels, and can cause usually ischemia, which can lead to scarring and decreased glomerular formation, leading to somewhat accumulation of sodium and water into the bloodstream. And it also decreases excretion of the creatinine in the kidneys, and it also allows glomerular permeability, which allows the protein molecules to escape the filtrate, leading to hypoalbuminemia.
Well